Hey everyone, this is a building that is 20 foot by 10 foot and it houses my model railway, and we're now going to go inside and have a look. So yeah, welcome to the inside. As I said, the building itself is 20 foot by 10 foot. Bit of a story behind it. It's hard to see inside this light because obviously the wood's all the same inside, but about 4 years ago, I started to dig out the foundations. At that point, I had only had forefinger left on each hand and a thumb on my left hand. I've always wanted to have a building, basically purpose building for my model railway. I've been into the hobby since I was 3, and my situation is, as you can see, I've lost both of my feet. And sadly, that's my left hand, which I've almost lost 3 times due to illness, an accident, and this is my right hand. So everything that you're going to see today inside's been built by me. A little bit of help from like my wife and my son, just putting maybe some clips on, but pretty much 95% of the inside has been built by myself. So yeah, 4 years ago, I started digging out the foundations. I was on my hands and knees and I did it metre by metre. So it's basically 60 foot in total length. And I got the concrete in, and then sadly I did the first layer of bricks and dropped a brick on my hand, which basically cut my hand and on both hands. And I lost my 2 forefingers, my thumb. I sold all my stuff. The layout I had at the time, it was only a 12 foot long thing, but yeah, sadly I sold everything, thinking I couldn't do it. Then I had a visit from a nice man called Steve Fraser from Blesma, not army, a limbless, basically for the armed forces charity. Came to do, a well-being visit and asked what I was trying to do out here. And yeah, I explained the situation and that I could no longer continue, obviously because I'd lost the last 3 digits on my hand and was left with nothing. And he said leave it with him, and it kind of went from there. And I had a visit from 2 nice guys, Tim and Dave Baker from the Bentley Model Railway Group in Calne. You may have heard of them. And it came up. Dave has worked in outbuilding industry before and came up with a design. Invited me down to their place in Calne. They got a warehouse there with many layouts and lots of knowledge, and showed me a few ways that I could continue, even with a lack of fingers, using devices and stylists and etc, that kind of stuff. So I'd like to thank him for the beautiful design of the building. It's all insulated inside, double insulated, so it's nice and warm. Obviously with my vascular problem and stuff, it's good to keep warm, circulation going. I'd like to thank Simon, the electrician, we'll call him, from Chippenham. He's done an excellent job. He's put me in a number of plugs and some plenty of lighting in here, plenty of plugs. Done about God knows how many trips, and obviously used his free time. I do apologise for the wobble in the camera. Like I said, I'm using the palms of my hands. So yeah, then once obviously the plan of the building came, and between Blesma and Royal British Legion and the Aaron Lewis Foundation, it all came together, and managed to get some funding secured for the building, and up it went, and here we are now. I started the first few boards from my best friend Dave Moore. So yeah, if you want any boards made, just drop me a bell. We'll put my email and address at the top of the description bar. And yeah, I think we can kind of go through. Obviously, I'm not working now, and so you know, I obviously had to budget and save for certain things, beg, borrow, and steal, and just turn some broken stuff into good stuff, and yeah, it's just the way it is. But the hobby itself, I've kind of put on some weight, which means kind of I'm contented. I'm not sort of just moping around the house. I've got basically somewhere to go. Obviously, I don't go, especially now with COVID going on. Don't even get to go to the shops anymore. So yeah, we'll go for it. We'll start. I think we'll start down at the beginning, shall we? And as you can see, I started with these first two boards. This was before the building was made, and I thought I'd always liked the idea of having a port kind of dock theme. And like I said, a hobby should be obviously fun. I know some people like to recreate a certain part of a railway of a certain era, but for me personally, it just has to be fun. I'm my capability is not that I could recreate something anyways. I'm not Luke Towan, as they say. But yeah, just enjoy the hobby, and obviously keep it within your means and your budget, and yeah, just have fun doing it. It's a hobby at the end of the day. So everything you see, it's either been scratch built or it's built from kits, but I've actually made it, so it's not going to be perfect. So it might give you a bit of a laugh, if nothing else. I do apologise, my palm of my hand's coming in view of the camera again. So yeah, let's start at the back there. So that building, there was a bit of, well, not controversy, but it's a HO building that I picked up on eBay. I saw it for Buy It Now. It's a German, basically, station building. It was Buy It Now, £10. It was a bit of a wreck, and I'll try and get in as close as I can without falling out of my wheelchair. But where you see the ticket styles there, basically I cut out those big windows, turned the brickwork upside down, and obviously added some ticket booths and security booth there, and turnstiles and whatnots. It was in pretty bad order. It was glue, and I basically cleaned it up, put a new plinth around it, repainted it, and yeah, it didn't come out too bad. I do apologise for the dust, because I haven't got around to fully cleaning the layout. The platform itself, basically 18mm ply, the concrete edging from Pico, and a layer of 1mm plastic card on top. Paint it all up, job done. Looks rather nice. I'll try and get in a bit closer if I can. There's some seating and stuff there. Roofs were from ICE platform roofs. Came as a kit. Didn't come out as well as I'd have liked to, but as I said, my capability is not what it used to be. I got the old bumper lights there. Excuse me. Quite funny actually. Both of these, the trailer at the back there with the large parcel force sign on, that came with the truck. It was all scratched up and stuff. I bought it for 25p from a car boot. Now every time I've gone to a car boot, there's always been like loads of these trucks and cars, and literally boxes of them. When I went last year, I couldn't find anything. and I did. This was laying there. It was 25p, so I repainted that trailer and the truck. Good old Ted Atkinson. Used to drive them myself. Used to be a truck driver. The old twin splits. And this one, believe it or not, was one of those Poundland trailers. Looked a bit out of place because the body was quite small. So I put new sides and raised the roof up so it's a bit more in scale. So I suppose I've changed a 25p truck into a 50p truck now. So yeah, got some roll cages there. I'd like to get a roof on this platform here. Kind of a bit out of money at the moment, so it's just a case of just looking around. And I've got a few pennies, see if there's something secondhand maybe on eBay or something that I can fix or repair. Excuse me, coughing, obviously a bit of a dry mouth here. So I bought these buses, those two green ones. I got all these vehicles, and the ones that I'm going to show you on the ferry, I got them as a bundle. My wife brought me as a birthday present. So this one was old bus, just painted it white and had a old ceiling sticker on the side there. You'll be able to see a theme soon. Again, we got the quayside walling. Guy there just bringing in the moorings as the ship's just about to leave. Thought it was a bit of a joke. I didn't really know what to have this guy, security guard there, pointing at. So we see the shadow, and I put a shark. It wouldn't be there in any shape or form, but I thought it would just be a bit of fun to put that in there. As you can see, we've got a nice bit of whitewash as the ferry's just about to leave. Again, all these buses, I actually got them all in a bundle. I don't think you would actually see a CB2 pulling a caravan, but obviously you got I think Mark II Mark II Escort there, and obviously a fairly new Scania. Obviously they wouldn't be around in the same era, or very rarely, or unlikely. The ferry itself, basically I had two pieces of wood and some old batten, and I was come out a little bit so you can see it fully. I basically made the base to look kind of like a rough copy of the Isle of Wight ferry. Most of the parts here are just scraps of plastic card that I had around. You might recognise what the roof's made out of. Said truck came in said box, and obviously you turned it upside down, and made a nice bridge for the ship. Those windows drove me absolutely crazy, both sides, cutting them out. It looked like it was snowing outside. I spent absolute hours cutting these windows out. It's really hard to see, but actually did put people inside. I'm not sure if you can get a better view at the front there. No, I don't think so, but there is people in there. It's light's making it a bit difficult, and the sides there, like the fans, they would be on the ship, but I just had an old Class 50. I just cut out the cooling fans there, and obviously the roof fan. Again, the funnel, just scratch built. And yeah, it looks like an Isle of Wight ferry, kind of. So yeah, quite pleased the way that turned out. We'll move along. We got some little boat that I just picked up, so I just use it as a little harbour pilot thing. Again, I got these from Model Scenery Supply. Obviously, I had to sort of kit form and make them up. It's basically sticking like matchsticks on wood, but I think it came out quite nice actually. Weathered it up, obviously a little bit of algae there and weeds and whatnots. Got kind of a father and son thing walking along the edge there, the harbour wall. Now the water, as you can see, I'm trying to get a bit of a good picture on it. I've watched lots of videos, everything from Markjbascombe, Sweden, doing toilet paper water, you know, and letting it dry with PVA, and then painting it. For me, the easiest thing was you got no more nails and you got the cheaper version, hard as nails. So yeah, hard as nails, you get 3 tubes for £6. So, and it's quite easily to manipulate. It obviously, I'm just trying to get, you know, a good shot so you can see. So yeah, manipulate it with a brush. I got one of those sponges that I like on an end of a stick, and yeah, manipulate it, let it dry for 24 hours, and then I used Tamiya paint number 17, and then get the XF1, I think it is, white, and if you pour in the white, mix it first obviously, and pour in the white into the XF17 till it comes up to the lid, and then mix it. It actually makes a nice watercolour. Obviously you do have those patches which came out quite nicely, and then on top of that, on eBay it's the name, I'll get the pot out in a minute. It's called matte coat. It's for acrylic paints. It's like £1.50 for a pot, and yeah, just covered it once the paint was dry. Just covered it over with that, and you've got a nice, as you can see, you know, that glossy water look. I think in some respects some people kind of overthink it, and you know, yeah, you can use resin, but again, given my situation, it's not ideal for me to use. But yeah, you can do, you know, and then afterwards just put in a little bit of white to, you know, obviously where the engines are running, or the splash, or the wash, or whichever you want to call it. And yeah, it kind of looks all right. So moving along a bit. The station itself is called Eastport. So yeah, as you can see, I've not really got too much stock. Like I say, at the moment I'm kind of sticking everything into the layout itself, and obviously just using what pennies I have. A little bit of irony on the layout here. Obviously no parking, and Network Rail decided to pull out right outside. This was an old, I think, Pika, I think the company was called, old Citibank building. So I took off the transfers, or the signage that was on there, gave it a wash, and then kind of put my own bits and bobs on there to make it into a Network Rail building. Guys just come back from France, I think, and got a flat tyre. RAC vehicle, lights do work, I haven't got them on at the moment. You've all probably seen that before. Got Network South East bus, and then again, it's all at the moment very basic, just trying to get all the track work done. So we've got a couple of spare lanes here. As you can see, I'm pretty in the lack of vehicles at the moment. I can't afford basically £20 for a truck, and have asked about if anybody's got any stuff in their loft. But I'll move on to that later in the video. So again, this was a old airport building, HO scale, HO, it's all the same. Had a strip light that I put down inside, a little bit on the bright side. Changed it from an airport building and thought it'd make a nice kind of rest room for the port, for people waiting for the ferry. So yeah, the road itself, simple, just plastic card, and you get that black radiator spray. It's like got fleckered paint in it, and yeah, as I say, excuse the dust. I really need to have a good clean up of everything at the moment, but it does make for a good road. And then we got an add-on that my bestie Dave made. He's made all the boards for me, but this was kind of an oversight, so he made a little 2 foot by 1 foot board just to add on, because I had nowhere to basically to place vehicles for the ferry. So we've got 3 lanes obviously going up. I thought another bit of irony here, given everything's C-Link, and back in the 80s and 90s there was a good old fare war between P&O and C-Link. I know that because I used to travel on both companies coming back from Germany when I was stationed there in the army. So yeah, I thought it'd be quite funny to have a P&O container just about to go up the ramp onto the loading. A bit of waste ground, greeny concrete that's just basically left to waste. Kind of, again, a kit kind of building. It was made from MDF. It was fairly cheap, but it came out quite nicely, so I've used that as a kind of customs building. And then we got some customs fellas here. It was old fire vehicle, so kind of resprayed the white, made it into a customs vehicle. Truck's rather nice. Even got a road map and in the front, which is normal. Actually, I used to drive a truck like this around Europe myself, exactly like this. You got a driver in there, and then at the back we got, shall we say, somebody hitching a lift that wasn't supposed to, and we got the old police there asking the nice person to get down from the back of the truck, for whatever reason that he might have been in there for. And yeah, again, a little bit of waste ground. We've got there, as you can see, some C-Link carriages. Got actually the old Lima ones, I got them fairly cheap, and they just happened to come on eBay as a set, and kind of got a bit lucky with those. I'm just gonna, bear with me, just move around. The ramp itself, handmade by myself, a balsa wood, a bit of graffiti on it, a bit of weathering. That's the ramp from the ship. I do apologise, Steve. You are still Steve Fraser, and you will be named Steve Fraser. It was a car ferry, which I turned into a warship because I actually wanted to do a kind of like naval port, and soon rapidly ran out of room with ideas and stuff. So I rechanged it into a C-Link ferry, and it will get named Steve Fraser. I've got the lettering over there ready. I put it under there for safekeep at the moment. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's basically a freighter Be named Steve Fraser, and it shall go once I get my bestie Dave to make a board, and it'll go between there and across there. Yeah, again, as you can see, I've kind of lack of vehicles at the moment, so it's looking a little bit bare. Some of the buildings, not hard to do, ready-made, Backman service shed, put a bit of glue on it, plonk it down, job done. Not much needed for that, but it does look good. I wanted a small servicing bay just for the port. I want it to look kind of like a bit run down, but going through modernisation. So hence we got the new signal box down there. Old crane there, which I weathered up myself and stuff on the siding. We've got some storage lanes at the back, and then we come to the old signal box. So basically, kind of looking like this area. I want going from old, being refurbished, as it were. Sidings go all the way up there. Needs obviously some more scenery. Like I said, this is all just hand in the way again. All looking very just basic, there's no signals or trunking or electric boxes or, anything like that. The hobby itself is pretty expensive now, so, and given the current climate, you've got to be a little bit mindful. So we'll come round. I've got to get a load of girders to go around there to finish this off. This is all wall-in, made from plaster. Just came out. Probably needs a little bit more work on it. I'm not entirely happy with it at the moment. And then we got DHL building. Which I will just go and check, because the lights are not working in at the moment. There was lights, they seem to have gone off. It was lit up, it looked quite nice because it was kind of like a blue colour. But yeah, DHL buildings, those two trucks they're 1/64 scale, I think, so they're a little bit larger than what they should be, but put at the back, not too noticeable. Obviously I need to get a background scene there, because it looks a bit stupid with the wood, and just wanted something to go in the corner there. I thought it would be quite nice, as I don't really like seeing trains going around the corners personally. Dave Moore, my best friend, the guy that's built all the boards for me, I thought it would be quite fitting there to have a engineering depot. This was a old timber sawmill type thing, so I had to modify it a little bit to fit the trains underneath. I'm just gonna move this a little bit along. So yeah, it looks all dirty and grimy. Got given a class 31 body shell, so thought let's chuck a light inside, put a bit of plastic card on the bottom there. The guy there's trying to sump out some oil of some sorts. A lot of these extra bits here came actually with the sawmill kit, so it was quite good with the add-ons. So all looking, this is all everything you've done, I've done here myself. Oil container, and then we come down to the slipway. Kind of wanted to make it look a bit like a obviously point where they break up locos and stock and stuff. These things here, they are kind of toys from China, but again, right scale and yeah, right price at the end of the day. So we've got a pile of scrap there and ready to be cut up. And a bigger crane here. I need to get some, I want to get like a pile of scrap there so it makes it look like it's being loaded onto said barge. I know we don't really use barges in this country too much, but we used to years ago. And obviously the slipway, water, the same deal. I made a bit more light on the ripples there, as you can see. It's just a small section. Again, hard as nails, let it dry. Number 17 Tamiya paint mixed with some white, or half a pot of white mixed in with it, and painted it, and then a layer of that gloss, which I shall show you shortly. Yeah, harbour wall again, plaster cast. Came out quite nicely. Just wanted something a little bit different from the other side there, otherwise it all kind of looked the same. Plenty of weeds growing around, some stuff waiting to be chopped. Yeah, we had a bit of a mishap here. Much to my annoyance, I went to poke a screwdriver in to remove a sliver of wood that was in the way for the point motor, and yes, I went straight through the blade. Very good. That's £15 down the drain. So yeah, it was quite annoying, especially after I'd already kind of seamed it up and stuff. But a few choice words was used. Came around here, got a couple of old 125s cut up. Again, waiting to be chopped up for scrap. So basically, this is what I call the boneyard. We've got the two main lines coming out at the back. We've got a nice big low loader. Both of these van lights, they do work. And then we got some older stuff awaiting either repair or waiting to be chopped up. Again, you know, this is all basic stuff that I've cut in some hardboard there in between. Learnt my lesson from using too much plastic hard, especially as it gets quite warm in here. It tends to bow and buckle, but yeah, so a little bit of hardboard all cut. So we need to get some lights and just basic stuff that would be around here. Again, we got obviously the low loader and spur off tunnel. It's quite funny actually. This tunnel's, it was a box where you put tea bags in, right size. Cut a hole in the board, screwed it up underneath. Brickwork, bit of graffiti, just so it looks like there's an entry point up into the yard. The idea is, might get an old steam loco to make it look like it's being loaded for some museum somewhere, or to be refurbed somewhere, possibly. Let me come out a little bit. You can see we got 5 lanes there, so plenty of room for some storage. As I said, I'm a bit shy on stock at the moment, so in this corner again, I'm hoping that there'll be a tunnel, and then on top will be a tram station, half of which will be covered. You won't be able to see, so it looks like it goes off somewhere. So I'm hoping to get my best friend Dave there to put the woodwork for that, and then there'll be the tunnel entrance, and then we come round. Obviously main lines are looking, I want this area to look a bit more cleaner and nicer. Obviously we've got plenty of stuff that looks old and overgrown. Here I'd like it, just looking a bit more clean, and I do apologise for my hand. Looking clean and fresh. So again, we come down from 2 lines. The idea is that the uplight, as it were, would come along into any of these, as you can see now, 6 bays, and this one will end up being the return line when it does a loop out of sight at the back. Again here, had kind of an area I didn't know what to do with, a couple of containers. I need to have a little bit more think about what I can actually, put in this area here. I'm not quite sure. And I apologise for the clicking on my wheelchair. So yeah, plenty of back scenes to be put in here, and as I said, we're coming into, from 1 lane we can come into 6 platforms, and then if they come out of these 2 back, then they can return on the down line via those 2 just here and come back. And if they go on those up to the top there, they can go around, do the loop, and then hopefully come back on this one. That was the idea. So yeah, then we're going to come into this platform. So we've got Eastport over the other side, and this will become, don't laugh now, my wife's called Monica. So I was trying to think of a name for a station. I wanted to include my wife. And we came up with Mon Bay Interchange. So Bay as in, because obviously it's all port, Mon because that's her name, and yeah, Interchange because we're going to have, there's the tram station, there. There'll be a station building and bus station there, so it will be integrated into one. And the tram station is then, again, when Davey gets down, get me some extensions, and obviously the back scene to go all the way along, and there'll be a tram that'll go right down the bottom there, which I thought would be quite kind of a nice thing. So plenty of storage, just lack of stock. Again, as you can see, you can do this method, pretty much in any shape you want. If you want to do it in a curve, 18mm ply, and it kind of strengthens the board as well. And then you get some concrete edging, cut off the knobbly bits so it's nice and flat, no nails, glue it on, leave about 1 millimetre up above, and then chop some plastic card. On this side I just used just grey primer, and it came out kind of nice. I've got a little bit of overspray there, and painted the edges a little bit different. Obviously looking too much side. All this is not actually glued down yet, so we want to put in all brick walling all around these pillars, so some brick sheeting. It's going to be a horrible job. Don't particularly like doing that, but it has to be done. And obviously people, seating, and all those other beautiful platform stuff. I think it'll look rather nice. And then here I've got a piece already cut out, which is down on the floor there. So this basically section here that's actually in view, you won't be able to see that bit, but only kind of viewed from there. And it will look like a nice big long platform, but without being a big long platform, so a bit of a space saver. And then I'm just going to move forward and just turn around. You can see just here, it's cut these little knobbly bits you got on the concrete edging, just glue them aside, 1mm, you know, you can make the platform into whatever you want, but we've got this piece here, and that piece is my turning circle, which will go just here again. I've kind of run out of funds at the moment, so I'm a bit of a standstill with it all. Obviously my boys just started college, and yearly bus pass was pretty expensive, so that's more important than the hobby. So we'll get there. It's just a matter of being patient and just saving those pennies. I'm just going to come back a bit. I just want to try and switch this off. I'll switch it back on again. No. Those lights on that DHL building seem to have, which is a shame, because it really did look good. So we're coming on to the control system now. A lot of thought and effort went into this. Obviously, again, it all comes down to cost. You know, originally I was talking about and looking into the e-course, you know, but that's like what, £700. Yeah, you can set your routes and stuff. Not, you know, probably not in this lifetime. Well out of my price range, so I have to be realistic. I used the Elite controller before. It's simple. I knew it had big buttons. I knew it's a fairly stable unit, and that's what I went with basically. There does have its fair share of issues. So at the moment, I've had a talk with a few people. There's a system I think called the Z21. It comes with a router, and this is ideally what I want to do, is exchange that, get a Z21, because it comes with a router, and therefore I can use my iPhone, well, it's not an iPhone, but you know, smartphone or tablet. Then I can, you know, if I'm at the top end, I can actually just take my phone or my tablet with me and just use it like that. Yeah, again, 350 quid. It's gonna take a while to save, so I'm hoping once I've done all the track work, got this last board in, I'm hoping that I can then knuckle down and try and save for one of those. I think it would probably make my life a lot easier, because what's happening is when I click loco and then I go to press the button, sometimes what happens is it's so easy just to when you click on, this is change the numbers, and it's quite frustrating. And obviously this has its limitations as well. It's a solid unit, reliable, but for me the buttons are big, but these dials, when I go to click on it, it can be frustrating at times. So DCC Concepts, all the points pretty much are all got motors underneath them now, much to my not annoyance, that's not the word to use. They was easy to put in and they're easy to use. The only problem that I'm having with these is, for some reason, if I do get a short on the track, it kind of, they like reset themselves, and I'm not sure why. But she'll just give you a little. Excuse my hand, but I'm stretching over. Let's just show you here. So yeah, nice and smooth. saw that actually. There we go. Alright, let's get my hand out of the shop. So the alpha system, we got the alpha centrals here, which you can put in line. If you do need to know how to, like me, I bought the second one. What you need to do is, I think, press and hold the ACC button. So you switch it off, press and hold the ACC button. When you're switching it back on, keep it press and hold, and these digits will start flashing up. I spent 90 minutes trying to figure out why they both went from 0 to 12. Obviously, you need to change. We got that 0 to 12, and then that needs to become 13 to 26. And then you just use the cab button, and as it starts flashing cab, and it'll flick the next number, and you just basically put in 0, 13. So when it starts, obviously you get 0, 13 on the screen. Once you've done that, you'll end up pressing the cab button, basically then turn it off and switch it back on again, and it will be 13 to 26. And when I hopefully get another one, because I do need, because I think I've got 32 points in total, when I get another one here, I'll have to do the same, switch it off, press and hold the, I can't remember if it's the cab button or the ACC. I know you, as you switch it on, you press and hold one of those two, it'll start flashing, and then after that it's pretty much, you know, you'll press the cab button and it'll go through the digits, and then you press the AC to go on to the next line of digits, and so backwards and forwards, and then switch it, you know, once you've press it so the digits stop flashing, and once you've done that, switch it off, switch it back on, and it will take effect. But these are very easy to use, obviously given my situation, because all I have to do is just press that, and I've got full control. Otherwise it would mean I would literally have to put in the point number every time I use this. I'd probably end up giving up the hobby if I had to do that, because even with fingers, bit of a nightmare. Almost track is basically code 100. It is Insul Frog. Why I went with that is to, again, eliminate as much small stuff that I had to do. You know, I mean, I literally, when I have to screw stuff, or, you know, I'm trying to cut stuff, I use, you know, under my chin, my palms of my hands, you know, my mouth. I've got a screwdriver in my mouth, and I'm trying to obviously use my palms to turn it. My mate, obviously Dave, is, you know, was kind of at despair putting these point motors underneath without a magnetic end on it. So yeah, I was a bit of a despair, and he's actually got me a magnetic set, bless him. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. Overall, pleased. Couple of things I'm not over the moon with. Like I said, the platform roof could have been better. I need to get a roof here. Got a ton of scenery to do. As you can see, I've not got much stock. Yeah, Central, Z21, you know, the list just goes on, and you start looking at, you know, people and stuff. But it's a hobby. I got plenty of time. It's given me a place to go. I can't thank all the people that I've mentioned, and a lot of people that I haven't mentioned, you know, for either looking in their loft, like Simon Jenner, bringing me, you know, those trucks. Yeah, they was up in his loft not doing anything. You know, and I've made use of them. You know, I would ask if you do have any, you know, even old paints or scenery, or you got some vehicles that you might not use anymore. I will put my address and email, you know, in the description. Even if you think, oh, this is broken, I don't think you might be able to use it. I don't have, obviously money. It's obviously an embarrassing thing to talk about, just the way the situation is. But if you've got something you've not used, or it's just stuck up in your loft and you think, oh, I'm just going to throw it out, I'd be over the moon to have it. Could pretty much make use of most things, I think. There's a long way to go still. It's all, at the moment, just very basic track, gravel, some static grass. Like I say, if you do have anything, I would be very, very grateful if you could have a look and, possibly somehow, I'm more than happy to pay the postage. If you're having a clear out, then yeah, please, I'd be very happy. Thanks for watching. I will try and do another update. I know a lot of you have been waiting a long time for me to do this. Obviously with COVID and obviously kids at home. Just trying to have the first day I've had a bit of peace and quiet, actually, in the house to myself. Because even when you come up here, they still, you come up here for an hour and, can you get me a drink, Daddy? And all that, you know how that goes. So, but yeah, very happy. Thanks for watching. I hope I haven't bored you too much. And, on the last note, I thank all the charities that have been involved. That's Aaron Lewis, British Legion, and most of all, Steve Fraser from Blesma. I can't thank you enough. You really made all this possible. Like I said, kind of put on like 15 kilos because just in my mind I'm quite content now. So it's nice to get out of the house and go somewhere and be able to just let my mind run free. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll keep you updated in the near future. Bye. I just wanted to run a train a bit quickly. And beautiful loco or EMU by Southwest Trains. It's really, really nice. Just wanted to show that it's all finally up and running, or I've got something to run now. It's really nice going off into the distance on the up line. And see the horrible corner, and then we see it emerging again, top side. And we'll just wait for it to come round. go. And even at slow speeds, so quite happy with that. That's it. And that's